All right, I'm Adam, and I'm talking to Adam Waito from Adam and The Amethysts. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So, Flickering Flashlight, is that the first album under that name?
It's the second Adam the Amethysts album.
Yes.
The first one was called Amethyst Amulet.
Oh. Yeah, and is it a set lineup? The Amethysts. Sorry, I have some trouble with that word. Is that a set lineup for that band?
Yeah. I mean, over the years, there's been a lot of lineup changes, but right now it's definitely, we have a pretty solid group of talented young musicians, and in the past there's been a bit more of a revolving door, but I feel really sort of secure in this new lineup.
Everybody from Montreal? Because that's where you're based. Right?
Yeah, everyone lives there. There's actually only one native Montrealer in the band, and that's Rebecca, who plays cello and keyboards, and she sings. And the rest of us are from other parts of the country. Jordan and Scott are both from Victoria, and I'm from Thunder Bay, Northern Ontario.
How much do you think, having lived in Montreal but not being from there, how much do you think the city has an influence on your music?
Oh, I think a great deal. I mean, it's I sort of live surrounded by fellow musicians, and so like the majority of my friends are musicians, and it's sort of impossible to avoid being sort of influenced by that whole culture. And also just I'm very much, I draw a lot of inspiration for my music from places and scenery and things. So I think it's inescapable that the city itself has leaked into the music for sure.
Speaking of places and scenery, you recorded Flickering Flashlight, I read, in just a room in your apartment, right? Did you ever consider doing otherwise, or is that just where you wrote the song? So,
well, I think I mean the project originally came about sort of just because I was recording at home because it was something that I just felt compelled to do, and I had the ability to, and it was sort of the home recording process was something that I've been exploring for a long time, and sort of for me it's part of the fun to produce and mix as well as write the songs, and a lot of the arrangements and whole parts of songs sort of have developed in that environment of recording. Like I'll start recording a song before I've finished writing it, and that gives me an opportunity to arrange other instruments. And for me, I think I consciously chose for the second album to go that route, because not only because I didn't have the money or want to spend the money on paying someone else, but just the whole process is something that I really enjoy.
Having listened to the album, I'm very curious how some of the songs developed. For instance, Canadian Tired, aside from having one of my favorite song titles of the year, really. That one starts off kind of sparse, but then it picks up just pace-wise, kind of rhythm-wise, and then it seems like more and more comes in until it's got a upbeat sort of groove going on.
Mm-hmm.
How does a song like that develop? Did you start off just writing the whole song, like picking the chords, and then decide when to go up or go down, sort of?
I'm trying to think of that one specifically. I mean, it definitely varies from song to song, but I think that was a case of I think I had most of the song in terms of the chords and the lyrics before I decided that, part of it was going to be really sort of slow and sparse, and the rest was going to be more upbeat. I think that just kind of happened in the studio, in the home studio. Sort of just, I started to hear these rhythms, and I think it could have ended up just being a pretty straightforward, quiet song, but I somewhere along the line sort of realized that a lot of it could work as sort of an upbeat, almost R&B infused jam.
Another one. Correct me if I'm saying the name of this wrong.
No problem.
Gitchy Gumi Yeah Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's a fun song. that. Speaking of upbeat,
Yeah.
how did that one come to? Because there's nothing. It's an eclectic album, but nothing sounds. Kind of has the vibe of that song.
Yeah, it's
right?
kind of stands out. I think it was sort of an experimental foray into a sort of, I mean, I've drawn a lot of influence from music from the 60s, but I've been kind of cautious. Like there's a lot of music that I listen to that I'd love to sort of ape that I'm a little bit shy about, and one of them was like Tropicalia and sort of like intense upbeat poppy psych rock, and that was kind of an attempt to just to see where I could go with that sort of line of influence.
Okay, because it has kind of a surfy tone, but with almost bluesy sort of licks sometimes. It's, I don't know. It's its own thing, I guess.
Thanks.
Very serious song on the album is Adam Called Me Over Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I won't ask you what it's about because I think the lyrics really tell the story that, well, in terms of what it's about. My question is, did you ever hesitate to share that music, that song specifically?
Yeah, I mean, there was a bit of hesitation because it's, it deals with someone who passed away, and it's possible that people who knew him could, hear it and, I don't know. It's like a recognizable song. Like the subject matter is recognizable to people that might end up hearing it, but I felt that I was just honest about my own sort of relationship to the situation, and I felt that it was I just liked the song and thought that people could probably relate to it, and that it was worth putting on the record, even though I did have a little bit of hesitation at first.
Okay. Makes sense. Well, I love the record and I want to know, are you touring to support it?
Yeah, we're currently on the road right now. We're in Toronto, and we're playing tonight and tomorrow, and we are doing some more Canadian dates, and dates keep getting booked, so I think it's safe to say we'll be rolling through many more towns in the coming months before Christmas and likely in the new year as well.
Okay, everyone should keep an eye out. And last question, I'd love to hear about some of your influences. Well, even beyond influences, just what are you listening to now? Is there any new music that you can recommend maybe? Like anyone you've toured with, or just what's got your ear?
New music.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Sorry, I should have asked this before.
No, yeah. There's so much good new music. What's the most recent thing we bought? Well, none of the most recent records that I picked up have been new. Oh no, that's not true. Recently picked up the Jennifer Castle record. She's
Castle music. Right?
Yeah, it's
That's
really fantastic. I played with her at Pop Montreal Festival this year, and it was a treat. Same thing with I don't know. There's tons of great stuff right now. I'm kind of drawing a blank.
Have you heard Chad Van Galen's new album?
Yeah, I'm actually really do love his new record.
Yeah, it strikes me as the kind of thing. I think he uses mostly hi-fi production actually, but your album reminded me of his sort of just.
Yeah,
what it sounds like when.
I think he's also a guy who makes songs at home. I think he might have more of a studio setup at home, but I think we share some things in common, certainly.
Okay, Adam, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks so much.